Right, in this video we're just going to go through a few basic network internet tests. And to do that, what we need to do is bring up the command prompt. Now I'm running Windows 7 here, and I'm going to show you how to bring up a command prompt in Windows 7. But if you're running a different version of Windows, what you can do is go to Google and just type in command prompt Windows and then your version, and it will list a few websites that will show you how to bring up the command prompt in your version of Windows. Now on this particular search we've got quite a good one here, 10 ways to open up the command prompt in Windows 10, and this is the website, and a lot of them are very similar because it is Windows. They'll all be very similar, and some of them are exactly the same, but there are slight variations depending on the version of Windows you've got. So that's how you can find out where to find the command prompt. Now in Windows 7 we're just going to basically go on the start menu. We have a search box here, we click on that and then type in CMD, and up pops up the link to the program. We click on that and this is what the command prompt looks like. Now the first thing we need to do is have a look at our physical connection. So we type in ipconfig, which is ipconfig, and then press the enter key. Now this will display all of the cards and adapters in our machine, and our physical connection. Now we are at the moment using a wireless LAN adapter, and this is our IP address and our default gateway. Now default gateway is quite important, so you can see that's 192.168.0.1. And then we can see the other devices that we have in the machine, and it says media is disconnected. Now if we just go to our internet connection and disconnect it, we are not connected to anything at all now. So if we type in that same command again, now that we have no connection, and press enter, this is where we've just entered the information now, and you can see sorry about that. You can see that our wireless LAN is now disconnected, so let's reconnect it back up. Oh, before we do that, let's just do a ping test. Right, so we type in ping. Now we're going to send a test to a website, so we're going to choose a good website, because if we choose one that's not a very popular website or a small website, or depending on a hosting company that's using it, we might not get a reply, because we're only allowed, on the ping test, we're only allowed 2000 milliseconds, and then it will say timeout. So let's try google.com. So we typed in ping google.com, which is a website we're going to test, and we just go enter. Now you can see we are not connected to the internet, because obviously our physical connection is disconnected. So it's going to come back with an error message and tells us that it cannot find it. So let's connect to the internet now, and let's just try that one more time. And now we're getting a reply. Now the default is 4 times. It will actually send this request 4 times, and it will stop, and it will give us a report. In this report you can see how many it's sent, if it lost any of them, and the approximate time. The approximate time and the average. Now the time is in milliseconds. It's 1000 milliseconds in 1 second. So the time is quite important, because you need a reply within a specific time period, or for instance, like web pages load slowly, and things like that. So it needs to be quite a low ping, which we've got here. 36 milliseconds is really quite low. Now we're going to extend that. Type in the same command, a space, then a minus, and then a T. Now it's got to be a lowercase t as well. So all this is always in lowercase. No capitals are allowed. So when we've done that, we press the enter. Now, because we've put the T on the end, that means that this will carry on sending this request indefinitely. It will not stop until we actually stop it. Now, you can see that it's consistently sending a request and it's 35 below 40 milliseconds. Now, when this website is busy, you would get higher results than that. It could go up to maybe 1,000 milliseconds. You could even get the odd timeout now and again when it's really busy. What you don't want to see is consistent timeouts, like 3 or 4 together, and then a couple of replies, and then 3 or 4 timeouts. It actually would say timeout. If it goes above 2,000 milliseconds, it will say timeout. Now, that could mean that you've got a problem with your internet connection, or it could mean that the device or the website that you're sending a ping request to is really busy. But when you're doing something like Google, you can get the odd timeout now and again, but it is quite rare. But I wouldn't be worried about say 2 timeouts in 100 ping requests. Now, there's 2 ways to stop this test. We can click on the red square there, and that will close the program. But we don't want to do that because we want to see the results. So if you go to your keyboard and you press the control key, and then you press C, it will stop the test, and then at the end of it, it will give us a report. Now you can see it sent 108 packets. It received 108 packets and it lost 0. So that's really good. But I mean, with that number of ping requests, it wouldn't be the end of the world if you lost 2 or 3. It would still come up with a really low loss result. And it won't make any difference to web pages or downloads or anything if that was the case. And then obviously you've got your average and maximum, minimum time in milliseconds. Now, if we just bring up the ipconfig and type that in again, this is our physical address, 192. This is a gateway, and so what we can do is we can ping that. Now, we could also extend that with the T as well, like that, exactly the same. So it's the ping, PING space, then the address or the IP address or the URL, then a space, and then minus, and then a lowercase t, and then that will go on indefinitely again. Now I'm just going to stop that. Now, as you look on here, you can see consistently that it is 1 or 2 milliseconds, apart from a couple of that was, a little bit higher, but that could be because the device was busy. And this is a relatively small device. It's only a wireless router, so it won't have a great deal of memory and processor power. So to see it go up is not unusual. To see a high ping is not unusual at all. But what you will notice is that is much lower than the ping on Google. In milliseconds, it's much lower. And that's because it's actually much closer to us than Google. So the time it takes to send the information and back is less. And that's basically why that is. But again, testing your physical connection like this, you should expect really to see almost 100% replies and virtually no timeouts whatsoever, specifically when you're pinging a router. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, folks, and don't forget to share or subscribe, and I hope that was useful information for you. Thank you for watching.